What's up, my FYI FLI folks out there? How y'all doing? I hope y'all doing all right. Welcome to the FYI FLI podcast. My name is Hassan Thomas, aka the kid that did and the man that can, baby. And today, we're going to be chopping it up with former collegiate basketball player at the University of Arizona, former football player. Hold on. Let me run that back because y'all got to catch this. Former collegiate basketball player at the University of Arizona, turned NFL football player, and now current public speaker, Mr. Fendi Onobun. How are you, brother?
Appreciate,
How are you?
appreciate you, dog. I'm good, man. I can't complain. I can't complain.
Yes, sir, man. We met not too long ago at the Black Student Athlete Summit, but we're here at FYI Fly, man. And what we like to do, we like to skip the fluff and get right into the good stuff. How that sound?
Yeah, let's get it.
All right, bet. So the first thing I feel like with every athlete, every entrepreneur, there's a certain moment in their life. They have that certain turning point where they're like, okay, I can go pro or I can take this thing to the next level, or I'm gonna have to find another career path. So for you, take us back to that defining moment in high school where you knew you could play college ball.
Bro, to be honest with you, dog, like ever since I was a little jit, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like I've always been pretty good. You know what I'm saying? I've always been above average.
Yeah.
And so at a really early age, bro, we're talking like 10, 11, 12. Like I had already had my aspirations on being able to play collegiately and be able to go professional in
Okay.
basketball. But I think the moment really hit when I was in high school. I was 17 years old. I was invited to the NBA Players Top 100 camp, where they invite the
Sheesh.
top 100 players in the country, and it's juniors and seniors. And I was competing against some of the best to come to at that time, some of the best in the country. And you talk about that class in '04, it was cats like Sean Livingston, it was cats
Okay.
like, man, Dwight Howard, Al
Oh
Jefferson,
Lord.
J.R. Smith, like, right? Like these guys are old heads now, right? But in the gap, you know what I'm saying? They was the top of the class,
They
and I
was
was
that, yeah.
invited, right? I was invited to that camp, and I was able to like measure myself and see how I was able to compete against those type of guys. Then the
Mm-hmm.
following year, I was invited again, but now I came as a senior or as a rising
Mm-hmm.
senior, and I was at the top of my class, and I was like, you know what, like I can go, like I can play this game, I can play this game at a high level, and it's
Uh-huh.
just a matter of time before the blue bloods really start offering. And so
Yeah.
going into that fall, I had an offer from Arizona, from UCLA, Stanford,
Mm-hmm.
UConn, and I had my pick of the litter, man, and I chose
Sheesh.
Arizona. And that's when I
So
knew that was the defining moment for sure.
so you had all those different schools. How did you narrow down your schools? What were you looking for? What, really intrigued you about Arizona? So first, like, how did you narrow down the schools? And then how did you select Arizona out of your final three or whatever?
Yeah, it was hard. But again, coming from a 17-year-old mind, I like Nike. So like, if you wasn't a Nike school, I really wasn't rocking with you, right? So I think
Okay, that's your
at the
preference.
time,
Yes, sir.
UCLA wasn't really rocking with Nike like that. But I think Stanford was, Arizona was, UConn was. But then I also thought about the style of play. And God rest his soul, Coach Olsen was the head coach at University of Arizona, and they had a 5-out freestyle playing an offense. You know what I mean? Where
Yeah.
guys were getting up and down the court. They was playing fast basketball. It was a kind of an open spread type offense. And they had a lot of success. A lot of guys were going to the NBA from Arizona. Andre
Mm-hmm.
Iguodala, they had Channing Frye, Salim Stoudemire.
Yep.
You take it back to like Mike Bibby and Richard Jefferson, like all these Gilbert Arenas, right? Like this is
Yes, sir.
like NBA, like, you know what I'm saying? Like these are the type of players that get drafted to the NBA. And so
Mm-hmm.
when I was making that decision, my goal was to make it to the NBA, and I wanted to put myself in the best position and the best program that could get me there. And then to
Mm-hmm.
play for a Hall of Fame coach like Lute Olson, I mean, it was like a no-brainer to me. So my pops wanted me to go to Stanford just because of the educational standpoint. But like I said, I
Gotcha.
was trying to make it to the league, man, and so I chose
Mm-hmm.
Tucson. Yep.
Okay. Okay. So when these young folks are looking at a school, they need to think about playing style. They need to think about, of course, the drip, how they go look on the court, on the field. That style that they're gonna have. What else when you got there? How was the staff? Did you like the staff? Did you like the coaches? Is that something that was a decision maker or something that you factored in?
I'll say this. At 17, those conversations weren't being had as much as they should have been had. Now
Gotcha.
I'm 37. Like I'm looking back, right? Hindsight's always 2020. But
Uh-huh.
now looking at I would tell student athletes or just students in general trying to go to college or trying to play sports in college, like there's a
Yeah.
lot more that you need to take into consideration, especially since the scope of collegiate athletics has changed so much since I last played.
And
So
what
I
would
would,
those things be?
so for one, you got to put yourself in a position where you can experience success. I was at
Mm,
Arizona, and I was capable of playing at Arizona, but I didn't really get the playing time, and I didn't really play as much as I would have thought. Going into that situation, you want to put
gotcha.
yourself in a situation where don't be afraid to compete. Like, yeah, there's going to be other when you're at that caliber or that type of school. There's going to be everybody going to be nice, right? Like, don't be afraid of
Mm-hmm.
competition, but you need to put yourself in a position where you're going to be able to grow and evolve and learn to become the best version of yourself academically and athletically. And I just those type of conversations. Yeah, the drip is cool, you know what I'm saying. But looking back now, I'm like, I don't care about the drip. I want to play, right? I want to be able to have impact. I want to be able to grow and become, get
Nice.
to the level that I expect myself to be at. I would
Mm-hmm.
also say, man, like it's your life. Like you're gonna have to wake up in that city. You're gonna have to go to school at that university. You got to be dealing with those people. You got to be
Mm-hmm.
dealing with your teammates. Like, how do you mesh, with the people that are there? So on your visits,
Gotcha.
how you hang out, what do they do as a team? Like all that stuff is important just from a relational standpoint because you get into a situation where you don't really vibe with the team and then like you feel like you are societies, right? And so that's
That's
important too.
huge.
These are just different things that I wasn't looking at then. You feel what I'm
No, that's
saying? Like,
great game for the young folks, for real.
yeah, you got to think about like it's gonna be your mom or your dad or whoever might want you to go to this school, but at the end of the day, you're gonna be there waking up and going to sleep and on that
Mm-hmm.
campus. So is this where you want to be?
And then your
And then
sport is only 4 months, 5 months. You got to be there for another 5 months during the off season.
summer school, you got off season training, you got preseason training, you know what I'm saying? Like things happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're going to be doing life. You're going to be learning a lot about yourself. When I went to Arizona as a culture shock, I come from Houston, Texas, where it's predominantly black in the area that I grew up in. And then
Mm-hmm.
I go to Tucson, Arizona. There's only 3% black people there. And the
Wow.
3% that was there were athletes. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So it was a complete culture shock. And just those
Mm-hmm.
are some things that you would need to think about and talk about for, I would say, anybody that's trying to go to, go play college sports and just
Mm-hmm.
understand don't just think about the branding or the drip or you know what I'm saying like
Yeah.
and then we talk about NIL right this a whole new thing right and so
Mm-hmm.
man
Facts.
it's a lot bro but I would say my top three like doing life there understanding like what it's going to be like to do life there understanding the relationships with the coaches and the players and then is this
Mm-hmm.
somewhere where you can grow evolve and become the person that you desire to be and get to where you're trying to go for sure.
Got you. Got you. Great game for the young folks, man. Great
Appreciate you.
game. So going back to your college career at Arizona, give us, I would say, a highlight of your collegiate career, but also a low light. So give us one of the best moments that you had, but also one of the toughest moments that you had to kind of push and persevere through.
Yep. So I would say one of the best moments is a couple. So when I got to Arizona, like I was looking to fulfill the spot that Andre Iguodala, Hassan Adams, like these guys were playing to come in
Gotcha.
and play that role, that three spot. But I just
Mm-hmm.
wasn't ready. And so they redshirted me, and then so it's just hey, you need more practice, you need more development, and
Mm-hmm.
it was a shot to my ego because I thought I was ready, but I wasn't. And so I took that and I worked and I trained
Mm-hmm.
and I spent extra time in practice. I'm not playing in no games, Hassan, but I'm staying after practice. I'm showing up early. I'm putting in the extra work, and
Yeah.
I saw myself get better. Not only because I was putting
The
the work in, but
progression.
I'm also going against guys that are NBA caliber players, and to see my growth in that
Mm-hmm.
time, they pulled my red shirt right? They pulled my red shirt halfway through the season. And a lot of people was like, yo, why would you waste a half a year? Why would you lose a year just to play half a year? But
Mm-hmm.
for me, I'm like, I came here to play. So if they gonna pull my red shirt, I'm
We
gonna
gonna
pull it because I
ball.
want to
Yeah,
play. You know what I'm saying? And
for
so and
sure.
then I became the sixth man, and it was
Your
just really
freshman
dope.
year.
My freshman year, I was sixth man on the team, most improved
Wow.
player, and it was just dope. I just
That's
thought like
tough.
I had a lot to look forward to. So that was like the highlight, personally in my career. And the low light, I would say,
Mm-hmm.
bro, just after that freshman year, thinking like, hey, it's just nothing but up from here.
Yeah.
We got some new recruits in, and playing time dropped significantly. And I went
Gotcha.
to the back of the bench where I was like the 10th or 11th guy,
Mm-hmm.
and was really questioning my worth, questioning my skill set, my ability after having a productive freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
Looking to build from that, it went the complete opposite. And it was tough for
Man.
me emotionally. It was tough for me mentally. I went through a depression, didn't even know what that was at that time because we weren't really speaking or talking about that.
Yeah.
But looking back, it was definitely depression, and it was tough, bro. And just to be there every single day, wake up every single day, knowing you're not gonna play or you trying as hard as you can, and you're not seeing the floor, bro. That's tough, but still being a supporter for your teammates. And yeah, bro, that was tough for me, man.
I appreciate your authenticity, bro, and your transparency. But you already alluded to it a little earlier with the how you played those. First year went really well. The last 3 years didn't go as you expected, but God offered you that opportunity to then transfer to the University of Houston, where we're both from, to play football, not basketball, not the sport you were playing for 4 years, but playing football. So talk about how that experience went for you. Dive into that a little bit.
Bro, it was crazy, man. So I'll never forget. So I was at Arizona, and if you know anything about Arizona football, Rob Gronkowski, one of the greatest tight ends to ever play the game, was at Arizona the same year that I was there. And
Wow.
so when he was there, we had some scouts come in to check out the football players because they was getting ready for the upcoming draft.
For sure.
And they was there looking at Rob. And so we was in the weight room. We in there working out. And the strength and conditioning coach for the football team had called me over. He's like, "Hey, Fendi, come here. I got somebody want to talk to you."
Yeah.
And lo and behold, it was a scout from the Atlanta Falcons. Right? It was a scout from the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, exactly. And he was like, "Hey, this is such and such. He's a scout from the Falcons. He went to holler at you." And he's like, "Hey, son, like I know you're a basketball player, but have you ever thought about playing football?" And I was
Wow.
like, "Sir, I've never played football before." He was like, "Can you run?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely, I can run." He said, "Can you catch?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You can jump. You're an athlete." I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Man, look, we're doing a pro day. If you're available, I would love for you to do the pro day just so we can take a look at you. I think there's an opportunity. I see a lot of guys that look like you in our facility, and I think you can play some football, even if you just run like." And I
Crazy.
was like, "You sure?" He's like, "Yeah, for sure." So we were in the tournament. This is my senior year. We're in the tournament, and we had won the first two games, and we was in the Sweet 16.
And let me just
And
make
we
sure
were
everybody know he's talking about basketball now.
yeah. We was in the NCAA March Madness tournament, and we had
Yes,
just won
sir.
the first two games, and then so we're getting ready to play in the Sweet 16 against Louisville, who was the number one seed. So we played, and then so I'm like, "Man, we in a tournament right now. Like, I don't really know if he's like, well, the way the dates work out, if you continue to win, go ahead and do your basketball thing. But if you lose or whatever, something happened, come do the pro day." And I was like, "All right, cool." So we play Louisville, we get smacked. So we're out the tournament. So now it's like, all right, like my collegiate career is over. So like it's just a lot of things I'm processing emotionally. Like, okay, am I going to go play pro ball overseas? Am I going to try to go play summer league? Like the NBA ain't really calling, but maybe I can just get some looks playing summer league. Or I'm gonna try this football thing. And I was like, well, let me try the football thing because it's an opportunity. Let me just see what happens with it, and then we'll go from there. And so, bro, literally, like in the span of a couple of days, I went from hoop shoes to cleats, and I'm trying to learn different routes, and like it's crazy, bro. I didn't know what I was doing, but I did it. And so I did the pro day, ran 4.5, caught a couple balls, jumped like 38. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, well, look, you an athlete, but you raw and you green behind the ears. So this is what I would advise you.
Yeah.
If you want to play football, I would use your fifth year of eligibility. Go play, get some film, play in the Pac-12, play in the Pac-10, or whatever. But just learn the game of football, get some film under your belt, and then try this process again next year. And it was the best advice I could have ever received because that's exactly what I did, right? But I didn't stay at Arizona because Gronk was there. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't gonna see too much field time.
Not him. Yeah.
Yeah. So I graduated and then I came home, reached out to U of H, told them the situation. They was more than happy to bring me on. They said, "We can't offer you a scholarship, but you can walk on." And they let me walk on. They said, and they had the tight ends coach at the time, his name was Tony Levine. He was like, "Look, man, if you listen to me, I promise you, by next spring, you'll be an NFL draft pick. Whatever money you got to spend to play, whatever money you got to spend to enroll in the school, whatever loans you got to take, you'll make that 10x and you'll be able to pay that loan back. But you got to listen to me." I said, "Coach, I'm listening." And that for that full year, man, he taught me the game of football. He was on me. He coached me hard. And bro, I was a draft pick that next spring, just like he said. It's crazy.
When I talk
Crazy,
about
bro.
God aligning the steps, man, jeez.
That's it, bro. That's it.
And this is a money show. This is FYI Fly, man. So we gotta get into some money talk because I know when you
Yeah.
went to the league, you played for about 3 to 4 different teams.
Yeah.
Around a little bit. So, in your opinion, like, how was your mindset when it comes to the money management? Like, how did you do that? Knowing that at that time you weren't Gronkowski or you weren't Tony Gonzalez. You know what I'm saying? So how did you manage the money? Because we know that the NFL most of the time stands for not
Not for
for long.
long. Not
So
for
so how
long.
did how did how did the money management piece go for you within the NFL?
Man, I'm glad you asked that question, bro, because if I'm being honest with you, bro, I was trash. I was just
Mm,
like any other person who probably didn't grow up with a lot
yeah,
and saw a bunch of zeros and got excited and was like, you want to go buy this for your mama and go buy this for yourself and go
for sure.
have these experiences. And I didn't have a financial team to really guide me
Mm,
on how to leverage my finances, and also it's like it's hard when you make a certain amount of money. You go look back on people in your circle who probably haven't experienced that type of money, so it's hard to
mm,
take advice from them. Right. So you just think you're grown
facts.
and you're on your own and you're going to do what you do. And so this was my
Mm,
plan coming in. So this was before the CBA in 2011, because I don't know if you remember, but there was a
mm,
huge lockout in 2011.
yeah.
There's a lot NFL lockout. So this was the year that Sam Bradford was the #1 pick, and they was paying him
Mm-hmm.
50 million right before you even step foot on the field. And they was like, no, we got to stop that. So then the next year in 2011, Cam Newton was the #1 pick, and his contract was like 30 million or something like that, like 20 million less than the year before. But because they did the new CBA, right, like they was like,
Mm-hmm.
nah, we ain't paying rookies all this bread.
And what is
So
can you like break down the CBA real quick? Like what?
well, it's a collective bargaining agreement. So every like 10 to 20 years or something like that, 10 to 15, 20 years, like between the NFL Players Association and the
Mm-hmm.
NFL, they have these agreements on how they're going to structure the league in regards to like player safety, the responsibility. So we had two-a-days, right? They got rid of two-a-days for player safety, and just a
Yeah.
little different, how contracts are going to be negotiated, how much money players are getting up front versus,
Mm-hmm.
on the backs, that type of stuff. So it's like they have these meetings in the summer about, the two parties of what they're
Mm-hmm.
going to do, and they have to come to an agreement as far as like what's going to work for the next 10
And
years,
is
right?
that what created the NFLPA, like the Players Association, or that's been created?
That's been created, but that's one of the reasons why, right? Like you have to have
Okay.
a group that represents you. You know what I'm saying? When you're doing
Mm-hmm. Kind of
business
like a
with another
union
company,
type.
a union, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And so my thought was, okay, I got my signing bonus. My signing bonus was like 170 grand, but
Okay.
then you got taxes, so you might as well take 40% off that.
Facts.
But I'm like, yo, I'm gonna live off this signing bonus, and then whatever checks I get from playing, that's going
Mm-hmm.
to the bank. That was my
Smooth.
plan. That was
Okay.
my
Okay. That
plan.
was the play. Gotcha.
That was a plan, right? And so everything was sweet, and I'm driving. I made the 53-man roster. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So now we getting the checks. The games. Like I made the team, bro. So it's not like I'm not
It's lit
practice
now.
squad. Like I'm seeing checks, right?
Yes, sir.
And so everything running smooth. And I had a 2000 Ford Explorer. That's what I had.
Mm-hmm.
I had a 2008 Ford Explorer. And I'm driving it every day, driving to the facility, driving to work, you know what I'm saying, minding my business, just trying
Yeah.
to get better. But then you see Maserati in the parking lot. You see Mercedes in the parking lot. You see BMW in the
Mm-hmm.
parking lot. You see G-Wagon in the parking lot every single day. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And you just like, dang, man, I just want to, you know what I'm saying? And so my first major purchase was S5, Mercedes-Benz S550. And I said on my birthday, I'm gonna get it on my birthday,
Mm-hmm.
November. And so this time we like week 9, week 10. And I'm like, yeah, man, it's my birthday. I'm gonna drop, 40, 50 and get the whip. You know what I'm
Come
saying? Like,
on.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll get it explored to my partner, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went ahead and got it. And then week 11, hurt my back,
Oh
injured
man.
reserve, injured reserve. So
Mm-hmm.
at the time, what this meant was that I'm no longer on the team and my pay gets cut in half. So my injured reserve check, so I can't remember the exact amount I was seeing every week, but let's just for simple terms, let's say I was seeing like, 8 or 9 or 10,
Mm-hmm.
right, a week. So now that
Gotcha.
10 goes down to 5. And there's
Because of
still
IR
taxes
injury
because
reserve.
of
Gotcha.
IR, right? And I'm on a rookie contract. And so now I just bought this $50,000 car, right? My checks got cut in half.
Mm.
And there's a lockout that's coming up, right? There's a lockout that's coming up. And so we're not getting paid in the off season. They're telling guys, save your money, save your money, save your money. And early you think like, oh, I'm in the league, like I'm gonna be making this money forever. No, the hell you not. And so, after that lockout, man, that really hit me, bro. Like, cause I had an apartment in St. Louis, I had a place in Houston. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I didn't want to lose my place, and then I didn't get surgery on the back. I was like, yeah, I want to make the team, so let me just do the rehab, and
Mm-hmm.
then I go get cut the next year. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm on the streets.
Yeah.
And so this signing bonus money that I was supposed to live off of and the money that I made playing, it really wasn't as much as I thought it was going to be. So I
Mm-hmm.
learned a lot. So then that's when I hired a financial team to really help me teach me about investing,
Okay.
teach me about real estate, teach me about bonds, teach me about,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Just notes, different things and different avenues that I can explore my finances in so that I
Mm-hmm.
don't just trash it and waste it like I did my first year.
Got you. So you had to. I feel like everybody has to go through that moment, like you mentioned, coming from nothing, coming from low income. When you do get that big check, it's just human nature to, okay, I was at this level where I couldn't do anything. Now I'm here. I want to do those things. And that is perfectly fine, but you do have to have some type of balance. And what I don't want, I don't want people to have to hit rock bottom and then try to scrap and climb their way up. I want them to more of, okay, I'm gonna spend, I'm gonna save on top first. I'm gonna invest on top first. 10-20% saving, 10-20% investing. Put some other in just in case fund, just in case some nonsense happen. I got some money to fall back on. Then the rest of the money, now I'm finna turn up
Yeah.
because I've already saved some. I've already invested some. I've already put some for emergencies. Now let's go turn
Let's
up. You
get
know
it.
what I
Let's
mean?
get it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Instead
Yeah.
of instead of when you getting that paycheck, spend. Oh, I don't got nothing. The next time I get a check, I'ma save, a little bit at the end. That's not gonna work. So kind of just change
Yeah.
the order that we do things, I think can really, really help a lot of people.
For sure. Changing the order. And then also, like, when your lifestyle changes, doesn't necessarily mean your spending habits should change with the lifestyle increase. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of times it's just, again, human nature. Like, we make more money, so we get a bigger house, so we get a better car, or we add more responsibilities, or we pay for it because we got more money. But that doesn't necessarily
Mm-hmm.
mean that you should do that. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, I think looking back retrospectively, if your lifestyle changes, you should at least maintain the finances that you had to the previous lifestyle for at least 18 months to 2 years before you really
Mm-hmm.
start making, because things can shift quickly. You know what
Quickly.
I'm saying? Say, you get your bread up a little bit and your life, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get more money, but then you go ahead and make that lifestyle change 6 months into the increase in income. And then something happens where you're not back to
Mm-hmm.
where you were. You can't fund your lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you should be able to live the way that you're living, even with the increase in money, the same way, bro, because you just
Mm-hmm.
never know. And then that can start putting money away. That's how you can create a savings account. That's how you can create just the in case fund. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? As opposed to just like, oh, now my bread is up, I can go do this, and then it'd be gone tomorrow. Like,
Yeah.
don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard. It takes discipline. And money will
Mm-hmm.
really show you who you are as a person. You know what I'm saying? Like how you spend your
Yeah.
money. They used to always tell us in the league, if you got an issue with something, what money does is it exacerbates it. Right? So if you
Mm-hmm.
always giving
On
stuff
times
away,
about
when you get
10.
more money, you just exactly times it by 10. Right? If you have a drinking
Mm-hmm.
issue, you're gonna buy more drink. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
whatever money when you get money, it's just gonna exacerbate your issues. And so that was something I
Mm-hmm.
learned early as well. But that rookie year was definitely a learning lesson for sure.
Yeah, bro. You can literally tell somebody's whole aura, somebody's whole vibe by where they spend their time and where they spend their money. That'll tell you everything you need to know about a person, where they spend their time and where they spend their money, man. So I think that's great, man. We talked about a lot of great things, but I just got one more. Our famous final question, bro. We can't have you on FYI Fly and not ask you our famous final question. So
What you got?
I'm gonna give you two quotes, and I need you to let me know which one is more accurate in your opinion. All right?
Okay.
All right, bet. So the first one is more money, more problems. Shout out Biggie. And the second one is money can't buy happiness. Which one do you agree with most?
I agree with the second quote. Money can't buy happiness, man.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why, because I know a lot of people with money that depressed, that, you know what I'm saying, you think just because you got money, life's going to be sweet. And that's not
Mm-hmm.
always the case. Money does not buy happiness. Now, money can help you with flexibility.
Yeah.
Money can help you with freedom. Money can help you with choice. But you still got some people out there, man, that's really, really in a dark place. They got full of money. You see celebrities every day, all the time, that you think they good and they offer themselves, right? Or they dealing
Mm-hmm.
with some type of depression, or
Fact.
something happens that it catches you off guard because you're just like, yo, like, what could you be upset about? You got money, you famous, you could do what you want when you want to do it,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not happy. And so I think there's some truth to also like more money, more problems. But man, like that,
Mm-hmm.
like your peace, man. Like
It gotta be
you can't
inside
put a
of.
price on your peace, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I know people who don't have money and they happy, they peaceful, they good. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And so I don't think money buys happiness, man. So yeah.
Man, I love that, bro. I love that. Like I said, bro, you dropped tons of gems here today. If my young folks can listen, I know we talked about a lot here, but if you could take 2 or 3 small gems that Fendi talked about and apply them over time, I promise there will be large results.
Man,
So
praise
thank you
God,
so
man.
much, bro. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
joining the show. Man, if you have any final words, any final takeaways for my fly folks, go ahead and also let them know how they can contact
Yeah, man, y'all tap in with me. I'm on social media on Instagram, Fendi Speaks, FendiSpeaks. I'm always dropping knowledge, game, and wisdom for my young people. I got a book out. It's called Transition, One Kid's Bank Shot to the NFL. You can check that out on my website, FendiSpeaks.org, or you can tap in to Amazon and grab it. I would love the support, man. But anything I can do to help, Hassan, appreciate the support, appreciate the love, man. Anything I can do. Thank you, man.
Yes, sir. You know we locked in, my H-Town brother. We met out there in Cali. We went from H-Town to Cali
Down
like
to Cali,
Robert
like
Ory.
Robert Ory.
I love it, brother. I love it, man. And y'all
Yeah.
already know what time it is. We need everybody listening to stay safe, stay invested, and stay FYI fly. We'll see y'all next week.
Peace.